and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I want to begin by talking about today's Supreme Court judgment on Adani, which effectively says that it cannot enter into the case. The Supreme Court says the SEBI is competent to look into the matter, and the Supreme Court also further makes a few very interesting observations. Ladies and gentlemen, the Supreme Court was asked to get into the Adani case and almost overrule what the Securities and Exchange Board of India was looking at in terms of its own regulatory domain. You see, there is this whole Adani controversy, and the argument was made that Adani has violated this and Adani has violated that and must be penalized this and that, and there's a big scam. And the fact of the matter is, everyone's looked at this whole matter in detail. The SEBI has found absolutely nothing. And the SEBI has found nothing. People are now complaining about SEBI and going to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has found nothing. There's a Supreme Court monitored committee into the case. That has found nothing. Nobody's found anything in the Adani case. And the Supreme Court says, effectively, that please spare us the responsibility of getting into a matter which is in the regulatory domain of the Securities and Exchange Board of India. And the Supreme Court is saying we cannot put our own wisdom over the regulatory process of SEBI. What the Supreme Court is basically saying, respect the institutional structures in this country. You see, when the ED and CBI investigate someone, these same people go to the Supreme Court and say, overrule the ED, overrule the CBI. And the Supreme Court said recently, how can we do that? There is an appropriate process for that. How can we do that? Why should we do that? Simply because you feel that the investigation against you for corruption is malicious, you want us to overrule, that's not going to happen. SEBI finds nothing wrong in the Adani case. You want us to overrule SEBI, that's not going to happen. And the Supreme Court is absolutely correct, ladies and gentlemen. You can't go around throwing a fishnet and saying, oh, well, we made a big deal of Adani. How can we end up looking like fools? That's what the lobbies say. You see, the Congi, the Lutyens, the pseudo-lobby, what did they do in the Adani case? They thought it's a clear way to attack the Modi government. So they made up through the sponsorship of this evil man called Soros, this whole large argument that Hindenburg was the truth. There was this big scam, and Hindenburg should get the Nobel Prize of Economics and not be seen to be a corrupt short seller, which it is. And because they've created this hype, what in Hindi is called hawa, over the Adani scam, how can they be wrong? Well, the fact of the matter is, experts, known experts, people with institutional experience, years, decades of financial understanding have investigated the whole matter and found nothing wrong in the Adani case. How can it be, viewers, that just because a bunch of political parties and some vested interests made a big deal of something, that it becomes the obligation of the Supreme Court to say that they were correct? How can anyone expect that? Fact of the matter is, nothing has been found in the Adani case. Like nothing was found in the Rafale case. Nothing was found in the judgment case. Nothing was found in the argument, ladies and gentlemen, at any point of time. Nothing was ever found to be wrong in any of these cases. And just because the lobby makes a big deal of something doesn't mean that they are right. And we need to introspect now. So many cases on which there is so much hype created, in which there are such loud and vocal demands, in which there is an obvious foreign angle, in which their clear political interests are seen to be, found to be, after due investigation, without any substance. And if there is any sense of reason, justice, and rationality in this world, then the people who made a big noise about that should be coming on television and apologizing and saying to you that, yes, we lied in the Adani case. We lied in the Rafale case. We lied in the Hindenburg case. We were frustrated that we are out of power, that there's no chance of us coming back to power as long as Modi is the Prime Minister. And hence, we needed to create a negativity about something. And along with foreign players, we created this hype, used a bit of social media traction, pumped in some money into the social media feeds, and thought that we could vitiate the atmosphere of this country and destroy the economy of this country. Well, the economy of this country is only growing stronger. The Supreme Court has called out the lies, and it is time that you and I bring these people to task on the basis of the facts we have and what has been found on why they lied in the Adani case. Debate number 1 tonight, viewers, the Supreme Court dismissing all the appeals to get into the Hindenburg Adani case. And the whole narrative of the lobby has come out completely crumbling. And that's debate number 1 tonight. We must debate it. Unbelievable. We got Mukul Rohatgi on that as well. Tonight, under the lens for Liquorgate, Arvind Kejriwal, third time says, I will not appear before the Enforcement Directorate. Hemant Soren says, 7th time I will not appear before the Enforcement Directorate. What's going on here? Debate number 3 tonight. As the Congress tries to fearmonger with a Godhra remark ahead of the Ram Mandir inauguration, that's debate number 3.